Hey y'all, it's Day. So I'm gonna be doing a reading for us today. I'm very much looking forward to this reading. This is a shout out to Queen Cup. She's like one of my OG tarot readers that I would listen to, and every time she pops back on, it's just like such a blessing. So shout out to Queen Cup, and I'm inspired to do a reading, and it's just basically off of her energy, like inspired by her. However, I still don't know what the message is, because all of my messages, or most of my messages, are whatever spiritual team wants to talk about or whatever needs to be heard. So love to see her, Mr. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So, angels, guides, ancestors, God, source, and benevolent energies that stand in truth and love, thank you for the love, thank you for the guidance, thank you for the protection. Please continue to guide and protect us as we walk our path. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So what's interesting is I'm using this deck, this oracle deck, and this is a deck that I use like when I'm scared. Because I feel like it's more friendly, and it reminds me of my childhood for some reason, like that type of vibes. So I'll use that during times when I'm scared. So I feel like there's this energy of spiritual team might have some instruction for us or bring some points to us that we really need to know, or something. Like there's a type of seriousness to it, but then there's also the side that's just like very encouraging, and it's kind of like a parents at a track meet, or at the Olympics. Like they have great expectations for you. They have great expectations for you, and they're also very proud of you and supportive of you as well. But there is this energy of being invested in to some degree. So there is kind of this heaviness, this weight, this density that is responsibility. And as I'm explaining this to you, it's definitely giving Jupiter and Saturn conjunction for those of you that are into astrology and have been tracking. If you've been tracking the times, like that. So the Saturn is definitely giving Saturn and Neptune. Yeah, I think no, is it Saturn and Jupiter or Saturn and Neptune? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure it's Neptune. Yeah, because Jupiter just went into Cancer. So Saturn and Neptune conjunct type vibes. Okay, and then I also want to say that another deck that I would like to use in this reading is the Shamanic Healing Oracle. So whether or not I do, this is a deck that I'm going to be using and or would like to use. So there is, again, this balance between like Neptunian type energy, Pisces energy. See how the colors morph and things, and a little bit more serious, a little bit more grounded earth energy. So let's go ahead and get started. I feel nervous even going into this reading. So another thing that could be beneficial for someone for this reading is knowing what to do with your nervousness. That's how I feel right now. Sometimes we can psych ourselves out because we get nervous or overwhelmed, but actually trying to hold that energy of nervousness and explore it more. And you don't have to wait till a situation comes up to do that. You could do that right now. Tap into when you have ever felt, or if there's something that you're anticipating, feel into that energy. A lot of Cancer, since we brought up Cancer, Jupiter is going into Cancer. Wherever Cancer falls into your chart, you're going to be encouraged to feel into it more, or having built some kind of form of communication with your ability to feel. And we've talked about this in several readings in more depth previous to this one. So I think that's interesting because I didn't know, like I track astrology, but I haven't gotten to that level where I can track larger planets. So I didn't necessarily know that Jupiter was going to be going into Cancer. I wasn't looking that far ahead. But that's definitely what those messages were in preparation for this Jupiter in Cancer. So if you're just catching up with that knowing, it looks like tolerance, not being reactive, finding balance, empathy for others. You may or may not have known or know yourself to be a little bit desensitized. Maybe you have learned not to be as emotional, or something about the emotions can be suppressed in the past. Or maybe you just created a narrative around expressing that you could benefit from redefining or reimagining or re-experiencing, allowing things to be different. This feels like deeper than you. This feels like deeper than me. So there also is this energy of, say you're tied to a certain situation or a certain person, and it's that situation is emotionally charged. Spiritual team is almost asking you to kind of set yourself aside, because whatever is asking to be worked out, to be understood, is even bigger than your pain. And you know how emotions can get, well, for people that have Cancer in their chart, or I don't know, I feel like it's a really, honestly, we can highlight certain groups, but this feels like it gets everybody. Like everybody's watching the same movie right now in one way or another. From the spiritual team's perspective, you know, they see greater than us. But I feel like everybody, from spiritual team's perspective, everybody's like, that's what got me. That's what got me. You know, it'd be that one. It'd be that one insignificant part in the movie, and you'd be like, that's what got me. No. So there is this energy of being humbled. And myself as well, I'm seeing it already playing out in my life. Like, I'm not trying to be emotional right now, but it's already like I'm emotional. I'm just not acknowledging it. So I'm suppressing it right now, currently, as we speak. Oh my god. So yeah, that's the vibes. Already had a message before we even got into the cards. And then I felt called to pull this card out, and then the under the deck energy now is love. So yeah, there's this energy of like, as much, spiritual team saying, as much as you were hurt in this situation, whatever like healing opportunities that are to take place this coming week, up to 2 weeks, really be intentional about your role in it. So I feel like there's some chess piece missing. I'm not missing. I didn't mean to say missing. There's some chess pieces that haven't come together, like a Rubik's cube, or the inside of a clock, the insides of a clock. Like there's something that there's missing pieces to a situation that you're involved in, and we would more so say you're heavily involved in this situation. It may even have to do with you. specifically. Something about how we handle the situation. Spiritual team is asking more of us, and there's this energy of it feels like for whoever this reading is for, you want just as many explanations from your spiritual team, God, whoever you subscribe to, the universe, whatever you call it. It feels like you have just as many questions as you feel like spiritual team might want anything from you. Like you're like, no, this cannot be. So I would encourage whoever that's for, if that's you, if you feel like you're really in that space, even for these people, because in the last reading there was a separation that spiritual team was making, which was that there's people that are definitely going to pass this exam or this test or this transition. It's not also like when I say test, because I have said tests a lot up until this point, but I would like to check to have a better word to describe what it is. They don't, it's not necessarily tests, however they are, but it's more so everybody is, if we're all in cubicles and those little cubicles or bubbles represent our lives, our span of how much we allow ourselves to interact or explore or communicate with people. So what I'm saying, like, some people never leave their neighborhood, some people never leave their city, some people never leave their country, some people never leave like their frame of mind, their perspective. Some people never leave their family, some people never leave their job, some people never leave whatever category of your life. Those are just very basic, like those are the basic colors out of the rainbow, but it could be so much more complex than that, or dynamic than that, or larger than that. If our life represented a bubble or a cubicle, it's almost like spiritual team will turn the dial and the space will get smaller and smaller, and we decide in that little bubble that we're in, we decide if that's still big enough for us. And a lot of us are like, this is fine, all I needed was a room anyway, like that's all I needed anyway, I just need to be in my room. In my room is fine. I don't need to interact in the many ways that we can outside of that space. But we're all being given an opportunity to realize that once again, because we can miss the boat, but we'll never really miss the boat. Like another boat will still come for us, that to a degree, but it gets more 3D, more I'm hearing the word distinct, more dense, more in our face, more gross. It gets more gross when if to whatever degree there is that this space is continuously closing in on us, on ourselves. So yeah, sometimes we will just decide, no, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna renew my lease. I'm gonna renew my lease again. And again, it's not necessarily a negative or positive thing. It just is. So sometimes when it comes to understanding what is in our control and what is not in our control, it's still a big mystery. But also we have opportunities to kind of collect more information on what that looks like for us right now. Like, that's all I can say. So it's that energy, it's that friend. We've all seen it, had it, been it, probably to a degree, that you can provide solutions to them. Well, what if you try this? Or what if you try, no, because this, no, because that, no, because, no, that wouldn't work out either, because, yeah, because, no, yeah, because that too, yep, I didn't think about that, I didn't think about that until now that you brought up a solution. I know for sure that's not going to work. That type of energy, then that's kind of like the energy. So we have that realization that sometimes people want or need to stay in the spaces that they're in. And then when we're talking about relationships as well, deciding to grow. But this is a personal. This is going to shatter everyone's ego. That's kind of the energy. That's why I was saying earlier in the message, everybody's like, that's what got me. That's what got me. That's what got me. So yeah, everybody's getting their heartstrings tugged on. That's the energy. So let me please get into the cards, because what? I like this. Okay, so patience is the first card that came out on the top left of the spread. Definitely spiritual team is encouraging us to be patient. And like I said, if you're catching up, in previous readings we were talking about being in the body, being in your body. So that means being mindful of substances. If you are feeling anxiety, don't just take that as, oh, it's a bad thing and I shouldn't be feeling that way, so I'm going to suppress it. Spiritual team is like, explore it, build this a toleration of that. And I do feel like it is kind of late in the game to really try to rush and train for it. Right now it's more so kind of like, it's happening now. It's happening now. So patience is important right now. Tempers and temperament, maybe. Okay, so underneath patience we have paradox. And it's giving me this energy again of things maybe working out for you, but you don't realize that they're working out for you. And you could miss it if you're still stuck. You're too stuck in ego for this situation. So it's giving me this energy of like, maybe you have the opportunity somehow to talk to somebody that you might have bad blood with, or something happened and you could, I'm hearing, take the high road. You could take the high road and maybe like avoid it altogether, or I don't know what the situation looks like for you, but it's just like, be mindful and understand that something is greater than you. Something is greater than even you. And it's an opportunity, but it requires you to set your ego aside a little bit. And then I'm getting patience paradox. So it's kind of this energy of like, if you can survive this, if you can get through this, if you are able to, I guess, act in a way that spiritual team would be proud of, you will have then realized that it's one of these situations where I thought I was doing this for them. I didn't even know that this was being done for me, all at the same time during this entire time. Like, there's this thing that spiritual team is like, I'm gonna bring it back to you. I said I'm gonna bring it back. Give it to me. Give me your old life. Give me your old life. Put it in my hand. Like, they're like, and we're just like, if you like bruh, I promise you, if you do not come back with my shit, bruh, like that, we're like that, and they're like this. So that's the energy, and I'm like, ugh, that gives me anxiety. But there's no need for anxiety at the same time. But you know how we be making those memes on the internet, like how spiritual team be making the situation seem like really light, but we be feeling like we're getting drugged. That's where the anxiety is coming from. Okay, so patience and paradox. So yeah, the energy is like we think we're doing something for someone else, but it's a greater thing at play. There's healing available. Great things can come out of this, from this, that type of thing. And there's this energy, like even myself, I'm reacting to it. I'm just like, as I'm delivering this message, I'm also like, it seems like they're asking a lot. And the a lot is vulnerability in whatever way that comes through for you in your life. Vulnerability, emotions, what is real love, like for some of us, we're gonna see what real love actually looks like, what actual love really is. We'll get a glimpse of that, we'll get a idea of that, where we'll be experiencing that for ourselves or something. Okay, so underneath this patience and paradox that we're talking about, underneath that we have reclaim. I think it was coming out on the 1st, but it's the same energy either way for this one. It's definitely giving underworld energy, 3D energy, navigating life, scarcity mindset, lack mentality, and the very real nature of that, and our dang, I can't say that word. Susceptibility, our susceptibility to kind of our inclination to lean back on those things that are connected to basically our self-concept. So our self-concept is going to be very, very important right now. If you can, use affirmations, do whatever you can to keep your vibration really high right now. For your sake, for yourself, like make a conscious effort, and spiritual team will meet you halfway. Spiritual team will help you. But right now, it just feels like Neptune and Saturn together. With Neptune, things can get very elucidatory. And because of that, things are malleable. And because of that, we can change our persona, we can change our way of life, our perceptions, we can change our reality, we can change. So, yeah, so spiritual team is just definitely more so now than ever with Saturn there. Two, it's like it has to be aligned with your values. Spiritual team really wants everybody to get clear on what's important to them and be conscious of what they're choosing. What are you choosing? Are you choosing to have a bad day? There's that part of us that we could be empathetic, and then there's that part of us that acknowledges that speaking badly over myself or my life is not helping me right now. Speaking badly over black men is not helping anybody right now. Speaking badly over black women is not helping not nobody right now. Speaking poorly over my life, my circumstances, my past traumas, my past love, my past experiences, my past anything that I don't want to continue to happen in my life right now is not helping me right now. So I am happy. I am so happy. I am so beautiful. I am so loved. I am putting myself first. I am actively putting myself first. I know what I deserve. I know. I know. I know. What other things do I know? There are things that we know, and it's has nothing to do with nobody else. That is what spiritual team is wanting us to feel into, emphasize more, express more, embody more. What is it that you know? What do you know? Without someone else having to tell you, without referencing someone else's past experiences, without, I don't know. What do you know? So reclaim, there's an opportunity to reclaim aspects of ourselves and experiences that we want to have and want to have us. Paradox. It goes both ways. As below, as above, so below. And with patience, allowing that to come into form, but starting with ourself first, like self-seduction. Seduce yourself. And know that because of Saturn's presence, that there will be borders on that. So you're not just going to go loony. You can see more clearly now than ever what is a pillar and what is not. What it has the ability to withstand, withhold. What these are values. These are our actions in relation to the values that we supposedly say we have. And then we have creator, spiritual team, the creator. They're definitely on standby, and they are getting ready to change a lot in a lot of our lives. And they're kind of, I guess, if we're living our life and our life is a movie, they're kind of waiting for the right spot to place that wand in our life. So it's kind of giving me this energy of Santa Claus, when they would say like you're on the naughty list type thing, or you better watch out, be mindful, like someone's watching, that type of energy. I definitely am getting that type of energy, as far as not necessarily like they're watching you to see if you're doing anything wrong, but keeping up this momentum of my life is great. I am so appreciative. Like, gratitude is more important now than ever right now. That's the energy. Keeping the momentum. And I have somebody in my life that I love that was reminding me of that also. When things happen, just, okay, this is happening now. We're like staying afloat. We're not panicking. If you ever feel like you're drowning, the worst thing you could do is panic, because you're using energy and you're not making movements that are helpful to getting you. It's not benefiting you to get out of the situation by just sporadically flapping your arms and kicking. That's not helpful. But what is helpful, as alarming the situation, scary the situation can be, when we allow ourselves to get in the space that we know, I don't know that I will make it out of this, but I do know that me freaking out is not helping the situation. That's the energy of this reading, and that I think is coming through for like Saturn and Neptune. I know that panicking is not going to help this situation, and because I know that, I'm going to use affirmations. Say, I am so calm. I am so calm. Even if that's not true for my body will respond to that. And that helps this equilibrium, that a part of you is on the opposite spectrum. And now you have something that is on the opposite spectrum, so we can find balance.